Welcome to the big show. Coaching done better, improving every day. We are here live with the bass drop. February 27th, 2024. And we've had a lot of sales talk the last couple of weeks between DISC and how that plays into sales, and then warming up to somebody, the resonating statement, the positioning statement, all the things that go along with getting in the door and getting to know your person, your prospect you're trying to do business with, all the way up to effective closes and deficit questions, asking better questions. Today, we're going to kind of take a pause from the sales funnel training, and we're going to talk about something else that we do, the royal we, myself. I have a place on Coaching Done Better, which is the sponsor of this show, platform that I showcase myself and let people know how I can help their organizations and their team members their sales members become sales masters, I should say. But one of the things that I do to get business, to let companies know how I can help them, their sales members become sales masters, as I flubbed the first line. One of the ways I do that is by speaking. Professionally speaking is a way to make money. People pay you to share a message, as TEDx will say, share a message worth spreading. I've worked very hard. I have a few different programs. Obviously, one of them is the Success Secrets of the Sales Funnel, where I could talk to a crowd of, let's say, business owners or sales members about how the sales funnel system will take you from a regular human being to an unnatural sales master. But a lot of my speeches, and a lot of times people want me to come speak to them about motivational speaking or inspirational speaking, as I'd rather call it, my supernatural mindset. And that's basically going from victim mentality to a supernatural mentality, which is thinking, everything happens for me, not to me, and taking things in stride, knowing what happens when the worst happens, knowing firsthand what happens after, what follows, how it creates you bigger, better, badder, thicker, stronger. $6 Million Man, a lot of people remember that show. That's kind of what a lot of us are walking around, and we've been through it, and it's hard to throw us. So that's supernatural. So anyway, speak about that. I also was the president of Florida Speakers Association, and I'm the treasurer. Now I'm on the board. I'm an active member of the program team, which means we're bringing world-class speakers down here to South Florida to tell us how they're getting paid to speak, where they're finding the opportunities to speak. So today, if you are interested in a speaking career, if you're interested, all my speaker buddies, my speaker friends out there, on how do you find these places to pay you, I'm going to show you one technique that we use at the Florida Speaker Association that I personally use. We use them with Speaking Professionally Toastmasters. I'm a president of a Speaking Professionally Toastmasters group that's based in Raleigh, North Carolina, but it's virtual. We meet monthly. So if you're interested in that, you would have access to this tool I'm going to show you. So if you're a member of the Florida Speaker Association, or if you're a member of Speaking Professionally Toastmasters, you would have access to this tool that I'm going to show you today. I'm going to illustrate to you how I find people to pay me to go travel, take my wife, go on trips, go around the country. We've been out of the country, and they actually pay us to travel and put us up in hotels and feed us nice food. And we mingle and network and meet nice people. And then we get on stage. I do anyway. Christy's not a speaker professionally on stage. She speaks differently with events and stuff here in Florida for her business. And we do have people in our circle, and especially on Coaching Done Better, who can help you speak even if you're not a professional speaker, but professional presentation skills. We work on all that with you. So if you're an executive who's looking to polish up their presentation skills, it's also part of the sales funnel, presentation skills. But today, again, I'm talking about specifically if you're a speaker or an aspiring speaker and you want to know how in the world do these people find people to pay them all of this money. We're talking thousands of dollars for 1 hour of your time. Technically, it's a lot more than 1 hour because You got to fly there. You got to sleep over there. You got to, prepare. You got to put in the hours to have your speech, your keynote, or your workshops. But you know what I'm talking about. The on switch is on for 1 hour, and you might be getting $10,000, $20,000. You might be getting nothing, but you might be able to get some videotape of yourself. You might be able to get some testimonies. You might definitely get some experience. So today we're going to show you this one really cool tool that we have access to. And again, if you're interested in this, what you want to do is go to coachingdonebetter.com, go to my profile, Jeremy Torsk, and get on my schedule. We can talk about how you can get access to this tool that I'm going to show you by joining Florida Speaker Association or the Speaking Professionally Toastmasters. And then you can get it for free. Otherwise, you can just buy it. You can go to this website and just buy it, but it's $1,200 a year. So I've got a way that's much, 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 much cheaper. And you get all the other added benefits and value of being a part of these communities. So who's interested? Who wants to know where I go to find my paid speeches? All right, here we go. We're going to do two things. We're going to go jump to camera 2, bam, and we are going to go to the Zoom cam. Association Insight. There are other places, mind you, there are other places that do a great job at finding you paid gigs. Now, there are bureaus that can find you paid gigs. They're basically an agent, right? A bureau is an agency that finds you paid gigs. I'm not going to talk about even pros or cons of agencies. There are pros and there are cons. I'm not going to go into that here. You could go out knocking on the doors. You can call people. You can email people. You can get introductions. You can have referrals. But this particular way is really, really great because it gives you the power. If you have a VA, let me move this mic over a little bit. If you have a VA, imagine your VA sitting here doing this for you, right? All the front work. Now, it's not just as easy as finding these people, right? Once I show you here in a few minutes how to find the people, the trick is the outreach. What's the system? Do you have a system? Do you have a CRM? Do you have a CRM done better? That you can actually automate the stuff, that you can put the names in and you can start automating these contacts, the system of outreach to get these people familiar with you and what you do and who you help and how you help them, and then have them call you to say, hey, are you available? Or just send you an email to say, hey, fill out this application. That's the purpose of this. That's the second part, and that's the hardest part. But you have to find them in the first place. All right, you've got to find these people in the first place. And this is how you find it. I know you're saying, go ahead, give it to me. How does this work? Well, I'm not going to give you the sign-in. I'll give you the sign-in once you sign up for Florida Speakers Association or Speaking Professionally Toastmasters. We can give you the sign-in, so it won't cost you a dime to do this. But what I got to show you is the system. The tool is here. My tracking system, I just made a very, very easy to read Excel spreadsheet on what to choose, which buttons to push and what buttons not to push when looking or searching for someone to pay you. So, Association Insight, again, it's about $1,200 a year. However, top of my head's cut off. Let me squish down here. It's nothing if you join Florida Speakers or Speaking Professionally Toastmasters. So what I did was I created a little spreadsheet here. So this is the example search. And what I do is every time I do a search, I put the results here. So that way it saves the result, but it doesn't print them out. Okay, so that's huge. But the first thing we look at, we just put the date here, you title your search, job function, right? So we're looking at Association Executive Details. See here, Association Executive Details here. All right, is it all big enough for y'all? Now, here are the choices underneath the Association Executive Details that you have to choose from. Job function, job title, gender, and name. Name, job function, job title, and gender. Why I would want to know a gender of somebody hiring these speakers is beyond me. But they have it. But you leave that blank. Job title, leave that blank. Name, leave that blank. Job function, there's what you want. Now, typically, I want to start very high level. When I hit search, I want a very large result. And then I want to go back and I want to narrow that down by adding more things. So you want to do addition by subtraction. Okay, what does that mean? That means you want to leave off as much things as possible and be as generic as possible so that you can get the largest result. And if it's too large, we can go back to the screen. We can start adding some things to make that more workable. Okay, so we're going to go large first. So instead of going, okay, which executive detail do I want? Conventions and meetings. Yeah, I want someone who does that as a job function, who manages and oversees the conventions and meetings. Duh. Do I want executive director and CEO? Maybe, but not on the first go round. But if I wanted it on the second go round, I'd just come right here to choice 2, and I'd write in executive director. I'd go to choice 3, choice 4, if I had more than one of these clicked, okay? And you can. I mean, it might make sense to do some of these others, but for now, we're going to go with just the one. And of course, you could have drop downs. This is just a very down and dirty Excel spreadsheet to show you, illustrate to you exactly my process. Okay, so I'm just going to choose one. Then association financial details. Now this one, tax year, okay, hold on a second. I go executive association details. I think I left that, there it is, I'm sorry, I just scrolled up too fast. No, name function, executive details, and then association details. I did this right before the show, so I just left off this little part. It doesn't matter because you leave them all blank anyway. You leave off national, state, associations. If I was going to choose any, I would only choose that one and this one. But for now, we're going to leave these off. And all I have to do is just copy this and then put this in here. So association details. So what we want to do, let's go copy. This is why I do this show live, to show you guys exactly my process. What do I do? How do I do this stuff? All right. Copy, paste, insert, bam. Okay, so instead of financials, it's just association details. And the first one is association type. Association type. And then the first one would be national. The second one would be choice 2, 3, 4. Well, I got a bunch of choice 5s out here for some reason. Again, I don't really go past, doesn't matter because you don't want to go past 4 or 5 anyway, because this is just a down and dirty spreadsheet for me to help you. Now, in this one, let's say I chose national, and let's say I chose state. Let's just say I chose state on this one. So there you go, national and state. And I'm not going to sit here and bore you with and put all these in here. I'm going to put those in later, but I'm just going to write association, tax status, member type, okay, membership. I'm just going to write those here, and then I'm going to do, if I leave those blank, typically I do, or if I would choose, then I would just kind of make it green and put my choices. But for the most part, I'm going to leave them blank. All right, let's go on to the next one, financials. I'm going to pick any year. I'm not going to pick anything else. And the reason, there's two reasons why I'm leaving these things blank and going very large, by the way. Reason number one, I want a large return. As I said, I want to see if there's thousands of these or hundreds of these or dozens of these. Thousands I can't use, too big. Hundreds I really can't use, it's too big. Dozens I probably can use, but I think 10 for one search, a nice tight 10, you can really document that and then start digging in. So I'm going to do that. But the other thing is, if the one trick about this tool is that the person filling out the information, if they don't put everything in the tool exactly the way you're choosing it, it'll leave it out. So if you put a state and they are a state association, but they didn't check the state box, it won't come up. So it's better to leave it off, okay? It's better to leave it off. And I'm not talking about state, I'm talking about anything. That's why we're leaving all these things blank, because it's not important to us right now. And if they didn't put it on there and we put that range, it won't show up. So it's very important. That's the second reason why we go very high level. So we are at financials. So just pick any year financials. Industry. This one is critical. Industry. As you can see, I just kind of wrote healthcare because I was trying to testing this thing out. So let's say you want to speak to an association that has a bunch of insurance people. Insurance. See how it says insurance industry? So you just click that and you hit add. And everything is checked, which means these are the actuaries, premiums, anybody involved with insurance. If there's a seminar, a convention, an event for this industry that you want to be in front of, that's why we're choosing this industry, okay? Location. You just want to leave these blank, especially location. And I should probably put like a asterisk. Like definitely leave these blank. All right, and I'm going to turn these home. I'm going to turn these red. We want to stay away from these 100% because we don't care where the association is based. That's what this is for. Where is the association based? We could give a flip. It doesn't matter to us. As long as the check clears, we don't care where the association is based. The next one we care about, convention meetings. Where are the meetings? That's what we want. So, number of attendees, very, very important. Red, leave blank. Because again, I want to speak to people that are greater than 500. Oh, fine. Fine, no problem. The problem is if they don't put how many people show up to their conventions, they're not going to come up, even if there's 1,000 people there. Maybe there's 3,000 attendees. Great. If they don't fill out the average number of attendees, they won't show up in your search. So don't do that. Amenities. I'm going to leave that one gray because it's okay if you put convention centers, casinos, and stuff. But again, if you do it and they don't put it, it's important because it won't show up. I usually leave it blank. Now, here's the big one. Location, U.S. or non-U.S. You can see how you can go so big. I don't like virtual personally. I'm over it. I'm over virtual. You can have it. Anyone wants it, all yours. I'll refer you all day long. I like to be in person. I like the energy. I like the travel. Let's just go with U.S. and let's go with all. So U.S. and then second choice, all. U.S. all, okay? You can see all of the states are represented, okay? All cities, and you can choose which cities, everything, but we're just going with U.S. all for now. The next part is publication. Hold on a second. Convention months. So under location, under conventions and meetings. The next section here is convention dates, right? So I have months, years, and announced dates. So you got months, years, and then no meeting at done. Just leave those blank. Publication is next. Just leave it blank. None. It's just none. Contractors, none. Leave them blank. Don't matter. Additional criteria, leave that blank. Results by executive name or association, whatever, just choose either one, bam, bam, don't matter. Typically it comes up executive name, which is fine. And then here is the key. Now I'm gonna hit result. So I'm gonna hit search and you're gonna see, remember we did insurance industry. So how many conventions, how many people, because it's by executive name, manage conventions or events in the insurance industry that are on this website here? Okay, it's processing. 239. I'm going to lower this here because I don't want to give you these people's names and I don't want you looking them up because I don't, I wish I could have a blur. I could have a blur thing. I could kind of do it fast, but let's go with, let me do this. Let me move it over here. You can't see their names. Horrible job. But here's the organization names. Obviously, the first names are over there. So this is Florida Association of Self-Insured, and that person's a meeting planner. Here's Society of Actuaries. That person is senior director, professional developer, and meetings. Remember, there was other choices I could have made. She would have come up under senior director, professional development, or meetings. But because meetings are there, she came up, or he. But here's the great part. If I pick this, this is going to give me the association type, the acronym, the tax exemption, the industry, the year it was found. This gives you their address. What could I do with an address? I could make money. If you give me an address, I can now make money. If you give me a phone number, what could I do? I could make money. I could make money with that. That is good stuff. If you have a website, what is that? That is a money maker. You go to that website. I'm sure there's a contact list in there. You can find out more about it. You can get personal information or association information where you could do some research on them and really talk to them. So you can come up to financials. This is all public stuff. This information is public, so we can look at financial stuff. You know what? I just realized I haven't been sharing my screen. Bam. Hold on. I can go back. I can go back to snapshot. That's pretty funny because I'm looking over here now. But anyway, it's got, here's this organization, tax exempt. Here's the address. Here's the phone numbers. I'm kind of like, where are the phone numbers? But financials, is this, how big is this? Is this, you know, membership dues, 14,000. It's kind of a small one, kind of small, 74,000, kind of small. Expenses, 93. So they're obviously in the red, but they, you know, it's a pretty, that's 22. It goes back a couple years. Let's go to meetings. Do they have meetings? Yes, they have meetings. And at these meetings is where they pay people to come and speak, by the way. This is where they pay people to come and speak. At the annual education conference, at the winter meeting, at the annual education. You see Naples, Jacksonville, St. Mary. This is a Florida. This is a state association. All right? So I would take all this information and I would just go ahead and put it here. Association, executive person's name, their title, their role, their phone number, their email address, their physical address, their city, their state, zip code, how much revenue, how much expenses, what's the difference, how many members, where are the events, which month is it, how many attendees, and then some notes. And then for every one I do, I just add them here. That's this particular search. So this particular search, I mean, I could have had 239. According to this search, there was 239. If I wanted to speak to the insurance industry, let's go pick another organization, another person. Let's pick trial defense attorneys. Anyone want to speak to trial defense? This is Kevin, trial defense trial attorney. He's a chairperson in charge of conventions. Here's his phone number. Here's his address. All right? There's the other, there's addresses, there's websites. There's a website here. You can get, by the way, if you know their name and you know their website, you could probably do a good job guessing their email. But a lot of times they give you the email here too. Let's look at meetings. Meetings. Here, staff, volunteers, 2020. So they're not updating these things, but this is the work, guys. You ever heard of professional speaking? Ever heard of that, professional speaking? Professional entails that it's a job. It's work. It's not like just getting paid to speak. It's just you walk out the door and people pay you. This is the work that's involved in finding out who will hire you to pay you to speak. But this is typically once you train a VA, for $8, $12 an hour, they do this part. They do this part. So let's go back. And remember, there's 239. So remember, we could also go back and narrow this. We could put how many attendees, how many members, and all that kind of stuff. We could do that. Accord. Volunteers, staff, members, 1,121 members. So if half of them show up, all right, here's an email, member services. If half of them show up, that's a 500, 600 person meeting. Let's go to meetings. And there's 23. It's in London. Who wants to go to London? Everything was virtual, virtual, virtual. You see that? Boston, and then COVID, COVID, COVID. Last year was in London, October 19th. I'm sure they've had one every year. I'm sure they're going to have one in 24, right? So that's an example. That's just one example. You could go back here and change out insurance for, I like construction. I did construction for 30 years. I can talk to some construction people. I know the lingo. I know the language. I know the culture. I know the problems. I know the pain points. I could talk to them about sales. I could talk to them about operations. I could talk to them about leadership. I could talk to them about anything. There's 514, twice as many as the other. All right, National Demolition Association. I could do some damage here. 800 industry leaders. Let's see where they meet. (2024) in Las Vegas, 2024 New Orleans, 2024 San Diego. San Antonio. There are three. This one I missed. These two I missed, but this one, 2024. Oh, it's January, March. These are over. But again, this is not what I don't do this for this year. I do it for the like later this year and next year. And there must have been probably a button that I didn't push on here for future. So let's go back here. Let's go back to work construction because they give you future meetings too. There's a place on here. So maybe it's down here. Oh, duh, 23, 24. I don't care about 23. So maybe I want to put 24, 25, 20. So let's just keep the same criteria and see if it changes. Dog it. Hold on a second. Construction and bam, bam, bam. Come down here, make sure that it, yep, 24, 25, 26, search, and let's just see, it was 516, now it's 145, but if I just go to National Demolition Association, that's just the one that I just had open, and I go over here to meetings, 24 has 23, has the same, but again, going forward, I know that if I search this for another few minutes, I could get some future meetings. Positive. This is National Sand and Gravel Association. Meetings. 26, 25, 24. March. They meet every March. So, again, it's not March. I didn't miss it, but I'm damn sure they already have their speakers set. But guess what? Here's the other thing. People, nobody needs a speaker until they need a speaker. People cancel all the time. People get COVID. People break legs. People have deaths. People have win the lottery and they can't come. People can't make it as the professional until the date comes, so they can't come because they had to get a job. Then they call you. The whole point of this is to start reaching out to these people who are hiring speakers, and then we have a speaking campaign, an outreach campaign. It's a 5-step system to outreaching so that they know who you are and they think of you when they need a speaker and they don't see your name on a list. They actually send you the list here, apply. We have that. That's what we do. So enough about the boring life of how the hell do people pay you to speak. That's one way. That's just one way, but that is a big, big way. And it is absolutely 100% gratis, free, $0 to you if you join Florida Speaker Association or the Speaking Professionally Toastmaster Group, which I'm the president of that. I'm an executive board member of Florida Speakers Association. We'd be glad to show you this. We'd be glad to help you how to write your speech, how to find out what problem you solve, how do you solve it, who do you solve it for, how to find them, what's your perfect audience, how much should you charge, what your title should be, what your opening should be, what your takeaway should be, what your house should be, and what your closing should be. We talk about all that in these different groups. We have a great time. It's a great community. Thank you for watching today. If you've ever wondered how to get paid to speak, this is one way. It's called Association Insights, and Coaching Done Better, improving every day, coachingdonebetter.com. Please come by, hit my profile, get on my schedule. Let's talk. Let's see how I can help. It costs you no dollars to join as a member. Give us a rating. Check out the other coaches. Maybe you need something in your life you need to get better at. We have tons of coaches on here that are waiting to help you get better every day. Thanks, everybody. Talk soon. I'll be back tomorrow. And Thursday, we have a special guest. Rod Collins wrote the books called Nobody is Smarter Than Everybody. So Rod Collins will be our guest on Thursday. So shout out to Hot Rod Collins from the C-Suite Network.